Good morning, Sales Academy followers, fans, Facebookers, tweeters, podcasters, listeners, YouTubers, and everything in between us. Thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting us and making this podcast, the musing sessions, what they are. Today's musing, now this is something I've talked about for a very long time in many, 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 many different variations, right? I hear other people talking about it as well. And as a coach, it's a key fundamental principle of what we do with clients, right? Now, that being solo businesses, multiple team businesses, multi-million pound, whatever it is, startup, it's a kind of comes into the behaviors element of business. So today's musing is slow down to speed up. Now we know the whole kind of story as kids, like the hare and the tortoise and all that sort of stuff, and the bull in the china shop. We've heard many phrases like this. We've heard many stories like it and stuff. And it was interesting recently in a team training session. There were a range of people brand new, range of people young ages, somebody close to retirement age, and kind of everything in between. Lots of experience with the guy near retirement age, lots of zest and excitement and energy with the new people coming in and the youngsters coming in. But there was a kind of combination of a theme in there in that no one wanted to be micromanaged. And no one I've ever known wants to be micromanaged. Even the most kind of clinical detail people and data people don't want to be micromanaged. It's that need for a level of autonomy, a level of independence, a level of trust and respect in our knowledge and our craft and our ability and stuff. And that's a funny one because left to our own devices, without accountability and support and check-ins and some level of what are we doing, why are we doing it, how are we doing it, we can all get to the point where we just drop plates continuously, right? And then it gets catastrophic. So this whole slow down to speed up came into that conversation, and I've been meaning to do this musing for a couple of days, but it's come up so much in the last week in different variations. It just reminds me of how often and how frequent and what angle it comes in from when you're having conversations with people in business. So, and people in life. So I asked the question of that team, who hands up if you like to be micromanaged? Nobody put their hands up. I said, okay, hands up if you like to work for a pingy entrepreneur that changes his mind every day and you have no idea when you come in every day what it is you're actually expected of you. Nobody put their hands up. Why would they? Right. But this entrepreneurship that gets praised and badged around and the way that the word is being used and popularized and shoved into people's faces about what success looks like and how brilliant entrepreneurship is and stuff. There's loads of stuff they don't tell you about entrepreneurship. Watch out for some of the content we're putting out this year about what they don't tell you, because there's a theme that we're adding into the Sales Academy mix. And I'm excited to bring that sort of content to you because it's real, it's honest as it is, it's straight talking as we always are. But it's kind of poking the bear a little bit and picking the scab, which is something I like to do around the areas that we're not aware of until we're doing it, right? So lifting the veil a little bit, lifting the bonnet a little bit. So this slowdown to speed up isn't just the business owners though, and it's behaviorally within the team, it's behaviorally within individuals, and sometimes it's excitement to get things done. Other times it's like it's just a domination of and a need for a behavioral trait of getting things done, and just I feel the pressure of all of this stuff coming with it, so I have to get things done. And I remember in corporate, I get very dominant and task focused when I'm under pressure. My natural stance is very influential, very encouraging, very supportive, very people focused. In the disc profile, that's an I. I'm not. No, I'm never going to share with you the colors because so many different people have changed the colors over the years, so it's nonsense. But Dr. William Marston's original disc profile, whenever there's tickety boo in my life, I sit within the I camp. My mountain, if you like, is the I mountain. So I'm very optimistic, very influential. Life and soul of the party, huge energy, big into conversations, very communicative and expressive and stuff. If you haven't guessed, I thought I was hiding it well. But under pressure, that switches to a high D. So I move off my I mountain and literally my D goes off scale. Now my D's behind my I in my normal tickety boo, but my dominance really kicks in under pressure. And the feedback I used to get in corporate was I'd gone into assassination mode, and this was through a 360 survey. So many people use that word, and I was distraught when I heard it because I was like, that's the last thing in the world I want to be seen as, known as, felt as. But I kind of take no prisoners in that space. And because I'm so focused on task and I'm so focused on getting the task done, that I don't have time for the bullshit. I don't have time for the noise, the white noise, the untuned radio, right? I don't have time because I'm pushing through to get results with people. But that can be really, really damaging in terms of the interpersonal relationships. It can be really damaging in terms of the trust and respect. It can be really damaging in terms of somebody with a different profile can take a long time to kind of recoil and come back. Excuse me, I talked in the last musing about bounce back ability. So my bounce back ability is very quick, but it's not the same for everybody else, as I talked about in that musing. So this slow down to speed up, one of the skills I've learned over the years is I call it a retractable dog lead. And I talk about it in that way all the time. Because if any of you have ever owned a dog and you've got one of those leads where you press it and then they go off on the lane and then you kind of stop them and then you bring them back in. That's what we need in that space. We need somebody or something, whether it be systems, processes, people, we need something to just slow us down to be able to make better informed decisions. Because I tend to find when we go into that heated space, when we go into that hot headed, when we go into that dominant space, we're making decisions at pace. Don't get me, they're not all wrong. That drive and that determination and that kind of tenacity and all that, they're great skills. But I challenge anyone who sits within that dominant space that we make mistakes during that cost more time and more effort to put right. Once we've figured out what it is we need to do and we get what we need to get done, we then look behind us and there's a bit of a mess that needs clearing up. That's the real honesty of it. So slowing us down just to speed us up, slowing you down to speed you up. Part of the process when I go into any business, no matter what size, I'm talking with a government organization about this week, and that is that month one is observation. Now, that might be month one, month two, month three for some organizations or for some projects, because I don't really know until I get into it. But what tends to be the problem that gets highlighted is invariably never the problem. There's always layers underneath that you kind of got to pick to because that first level is what they'll tell anyone that will listen. And that's a human being trait. But actually, when you start to build the trust and you dig in and you care enough, what you tend to find out is that there's other problems lying elsewhere that they weren't prepared to tell anyone yet. And you get to that point, you start to get to the cause, not the symptoms, right? And that's what I love about what I do. It's what I'm very proud of in terms of a skill set. But I also love to then help people build the skills and take the skills from within them and develop them to be able to get past this point. And part of that is to slow them down, to speed them up. So part of our deliberate process in that observation is to slow them down, to speed up. They want instant results. It's not realistic. So we have a simple process where we say month one observation, month two, build and agree a plan together, month three, start to implement the plan. Now, that's a 3-month process. And for the impatient people, you're already going to start to see some benefits because as soon as you start to put focus and effort and energy into spaces where there hasn't been that focus and energy before, the cream will rise to the top. The efforts start to change, the activities start to change. Because people genuinely want to please in the main. So they will actually start to look at things that they've been possibly a little bit too busy to look at before, or they've dropped a couple of balls with. But now the focus is on, you'll naturally see a byproduct of improvement. But real structured, sustainable improvement comes from stopping long enough to observe, listening long enough, caring long enough, asking enough questions, drilling underneath, and keep drilling and drilling and drilling and drilling. And in that, then you can gather the data as best as you possibly can to then put a strategic plan together month two or month three to then start working on that plan from month three onwards. That's the process. And that process is built in slowing you down to speed you up because I want you to get results. I want you to move past the challenges that you've got. But sometimes we just got to stop, take stock, breathe, and begin to figure out. Slow down to speed up. I believe every single one of us, not just dominance in this disc pro, every single one of us as human beings can benefit from just taking that breather, taking that step back, and slowing down to speed up. The question is, where's that showing up in your life and business? Where would slowing down to speed up benefit you? Give me a shout. DM me, whatever you want to do. Slide into my DMs. It's 2025. Let's do it. Speak to you soon, guys. Take care. Peace out.